Hello, happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show. Today, we're going to be talking about how tariffs affect your savings and how the economy is getting destroyed by Trump's tariffs. I'm sorry if you're a Trump supporter. That's your bad. See what you did? See what you did? See what you voted for? You got what you wanted, okay? You put a jackass in charge, and now you got tariffs to our allies, which are crushing the market. But I'm still going to tell you how to save yourself. I'm still going to tell you. Pipeline Podcast in the house. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Pipeline Podcast. Also, Satwise Jenks in the house. What up? Satwise, it's been a while. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you, sir. All right, so we're back at it, guys. We're back at it. Still stacking, fighting inflation with the mighty power of the Bitcoin. It's Friday, so I hope you guys had a good week. Hope you guys have big plans for the weekend. My wife and kids went out of town to my mother-in-law's house, and I'm home alone. Dun, dun, dun. What's the worst that could happen? I'm home alone, and I have jiu-jitsu class later today. But after that, it's Friday. I'm open. I don't have anything else to do. So I'm going to focus on some stuff I've been meaning to do. I'm going to clean up my office a little bit more. Go through my garage one more time, see if I can find something else I can sell over the weekend. To stack more juicy sats, to get more juicy Bitcoin. Yeah. How lame is that, huh? How boring is that? My 3 day, counting today, I'll have a 3 day weekend alone. No family, no wife, no kids. And what I'm most looking forward to is finding other things to sell so I can get more Bitcoin. That's how you know you got the bug. That's how you know you understand Bitcoin. This guy gets it. This guy gets Bitcoin. Let me put on some background music while we talk. Actually, let's jump into the first segment of the show. Actually, I don't even think I got that screenshot ready. I don't even think I have that screen up. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't have it up. I knew I was missing something when I was prepping for the show. Let's see. I gotta find it. Let's see here. How to restart my computer. Is that it? No. All right, I'm just gonna look for it. Let's see here. Carlos Aramillo in the house. What up, Carlos? Round of applause from the live studio audience. Carlos, I'll put on some music while we wait, guys, because I'm trying to find that slide right now. But yeah, what are you guys' plans for the weekend? I already sold a kidney for BTC. Might as well sell one of mine for more sats. Let's go. Oh my god. There we go. I like how the browsers now, when you search for something in a browser, you open a new browser, it gives you the option to open the window that has that page already on it. So I was able to find it that way. So we're back. We're back in it. Let's do the first segment of the show. Here we go. It's time for the Bitcoin Strength. There it is. And today the price of Bitcoin is, man, I saw it get down to 83,500 and now it's back up. I was hoping to get a little sneaky little buy right now during the show, but it's up. So right now the price of Bitcoin is about $84,028.75. You can buy 1,190 Satoshis for a single dollar today. It's pretty good. In other words, you can buy about 11 Satoshis for a single penny. Pretty wild. When you look at the Bitcoin, you look at a Satoshi, you say, what the heck is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin. And just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents, a Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. So if you can accumulate 100 million Satoshis, you can have a whole Bitcoin. When you look at the price of Bitcoin at $84,000, don't be discouraged and say, wow, I'm too late. I missed the bus. I didn't get on the Bitcoin rocket ship early enough. Don't be scared. You didn't miss it at all. Okay, you don't need to save up $84,000 to buy Bitcoin. You don't save up to buy Bitcoin. You save in Bitcoin. So you can start with as little as $1, $5, $10, $100, at whatever frequency you choose, according to how comfortable you are with your knowledge of how Bitcoin works and the problem it solves. Okay? And speaking of the problem it solves the problem of of inflation. One of the problems it solves is the problem of inflation stealing your wealth. Okay? Let's talk about that right now during the next segment of the show that we like to call Why We Stack. Why We Stack. Okay, now let's jump on to our thumbnail, right? How tariffs affect our savings. So Trump's going crazy doing all kinds of tariffs. He calls them reciprocal tariffs, but they're not reciprocal. They're just tariffs. So like he sees, I think, trade deficits as something that is another country taking as he frames trade deficits as something that is bad, and somehow that is being that somehow proves that a country or that a different country is taking advantage of the United States, right? For example, the best way to describe how he thinks of tariffs based on what he says and the policies he's putting out is, let's say that Carlos Jaramillo had a store here in town, right? And his store sold something that I always buy. Let's say he has a grocery store and I always buy milk there. Okay, so I go to the grocery store, I buy milk from Carlos's store, and then so he and I, in essence, we have a trade deficit, right? He never buys anything from me, right? I always go to his store and I buy milk from him. So we have a trade deficit, right? Like we're trading. I'm trading dollars for milk, but he never buys anything from me, right? Does that make it so now you can call that a trade deficit, right? So does that mean that I didn't get anything for my money? Does that mean that I didn't get any value from the money I gave Carlos? I'm just giving him money for nothing? No, I got value for the product I bought, right? I exchanged my dollars for the milk that I'm consuming, right? So same thing with other countries. Like as a country, we buy goods from other countries, and so that's not a trade deficit. You're exchanging monetary value for a physical asset or like a product, right? So it's wild. But the crazy thing is that since he's imposing all of these tariffs, right, they in essence get billed or charged back to the consumers, which is us. Okay, a country receives a tariff on the goods that are imported to this country, right? So let's say China, right? I think their tariff is like up to 30% or 25%, just 25%. Okay, so China sells some company in the United States a good that's worth $100, right? The government now has a tariff on those goods. So then the government charges the vendor that bought that product from China $25 more on top of the $100 that they already paid for the product. China doesn't give a rat's butt because they already got paid the $100 for that product, right? But the U.S. now wants its 25% tariff. So the U.S. charges the person that imported the good an extra 25%, $25, right? And then the vendor takes that product that's now cost him $125 to get into his possession, and he's got to make a profit on top of that, right? So maybe the price used to be, I don't know, $110, so he can make $10 profit off of a $100 good. And now the product costs him $125. If he still wants to make his $10 profit, he's not going to sell. He now has to sell that product for $135, right? So in the end, the consumer is seeing a 25% increase in the amount of expense to buy that same good or service or whatever. I don't think they charge tariffs on services though. Anyway, on that good, okay, on that car, on that glue, on that capsule container, right? Because maybe the capsules in this orange pill vial or an orange pill container are made in America, right? But the plastic container is made in China or Vietnam or something, right? And they have that comes with tariffs, right? So now, even though it doesn't cost more to make the pills, it costs more to send them to you in this package. So the price of those pills goes up too, right? So, and there's so many products that we have in the U.S. that have different components. Because now let's talk about a circuit board, right? Let's just say something as simple as like a GoPro, right? You have a GoPro. Okay, well, do we make everything in this GoPro here in the United States? No, right? Do we make batteries for the GoPro in the United States? Maybe. I don't think so, but we might. Okay, do we make this little metal hinge in the United States? Okay, no. Do we make this little glass thing? Okay, maybe no. Do we make buttons here? Do we make all the chips inside this GoPro that are circuits and are assembled? Does that get done here in the United States? Do all those little chips get created in the United States? Probably not. So your GoPro is going to go up depending on where the different parts are sourced, right? If a part is assembled in Vietnam, it's going to get a 35% tariff, right? If the chips are sourced out of China, it's going to get a 25% tariff on that part. So all those different tariffs will increase the prices of everyday day-to-day goods. Okay, and what does that mean for us as far as Bitcoin? Why are we even talking about this? Why should I care? Well, because tariffs are another way for the inflation to go up, for the rate of inflation to increase, right? So if a good used to cost $100 and you charge another $25 for it on top of whatever it was worth, now you've increased the price of stuff 25% across the board, right? Or 10%, I think, is across the board minimum. Anyway, another case, you've in essence, and when I say I mean Trump. He has in essence, increased the price of things in a couple of months. Once these tariffs start to hit, in the span of a couple of months, where a 25% increase would have normally taken, according to like whatever interest rate we're at now, or not interest rate, whatever inflation rate we're at, the average is about 8 or 9, 10% year over year, right? Well, he's done about a year and a half's worth of inflation in one failed swoop, right? And a lot of that just causes a lot of damage, a lot of people losing their retirement money, you know, if you're in the stock market right now. And as the cost of things continues to go up, then your savings are not going to be enough to keep you as long as you thought you needed to, as long as you thought you had money for, right? So it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to see all this happening in real time. So the thumbnail is a stack of money just kind of evaporating away because as long as the value of your savings is in dollars, as the money supply increases and inflation continues to increase, your purchasing power is eroded away, and it basically your savings just kind of float away. Okay. So what's the solution? To keep it short, the solution is to, of course, save in Bitcoin. Okay, because when you save in Bitcoin, that can't be eroded away. It can't be inflated away. No matter how many tariffs they put on goods, Bitcoin is not tariffed. And as hyperinflation comes, and we're getting close to hyperinflation with if these policies continue, it's just going to be wild. But if that continues, and other countries decide that they don't want to use the dollar as a main currency, how much do you think your savings is going to be worth when they're in dollars, right? So start educating yourself about Bitcoin as soon as possible, and start stacking as soon as possible, because that's going to be the only way to shield yourself from the raging inflation that's coming. Okay, it's going to be wild. All right, and to wrap up the segment, why do we save in Bitcoin? Saving in Bitcoin is like traveling back in time and giving yourself a perpetually increasing retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked for, as long as you hold the Bitcoin that represents those hours. That's it. Okay, I'm done. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button on the way in. Tap the screen for some little hearts. Get that algorithm stimulated and woken up, and promote the show to our existing what do they call our existing subscribers. Okay, that was why we stack, and now let's get into stack recap. Oh, where's it? There it is. Stack recap, because we don't only talk about stacking Bitcoin here Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. We actually do it. And today, in 2025, we've saved $2,620 into Bitcoin, and that is currently down to about 7%, which is not bad. I thought it'd be worse off today, but we had a little bit of a bump up. Our stack of 2.8 million Satoshis, 0.028 Bitcoin, is currently worth about $2,400 and we're down about 7%. Bitcoin is decoupling from the stock market. I've been battling some issues and have been putting Bitcoin on the back burner. Oh man. Hope everything is good stat-wise. Life gets interesting. So I hope everything is good and you're able to get that stuff resolved, get back to your Bitcoin ways. But still, down about 8% for the year in 2025. In 2024, we did the same thing. We saved in Bitcoin Monday through Friday, and that stack is currently up about 40%. We invested, or we saved $7,245 into Bitcoin, and it's currently worth about $10,000. Okay. When we started the show back on May 22nd, 2023, we started with a $5 stack. We saved 18,000 Satoshis, 0.00018 Bitcoin. That 18,000 Satoshis is currently worth about $15.15 at today's price. So we've tripled our money on that first Bitcoin buy, and it hasn't even been a full cycle of 4 years. It hasn't even been a full Bitcoin cycle, which lasts about 4 years. Our stack for the lifespan of the show, we've saved about $13,449, and it's currently valued at $21,748. We've also accumulated Bitcoin for the show in other ways, including savings challenges, gas savings challenges, side hustles, and donations, of course. And the total holding for the show is 0.35305456 Bitcoin for a USD value of about $29,726.03. There it is. That is a stack recap. And today, since the price of Bitcoin is below our average buy price for 2025, that means today we're going to buy another $40 stack. Holy shoot. A $40 stack today. Now that we know how much Bitcoin we're going to buy, there's only one thing left to do. It's time to stack some Bitcoin, baby. It's time to stack some corn. All right. Here we go. If you guys have any questions, put them in the chat, because after this, we're going to go into the Q&A section. Q&A. Let's see. I'll bring up the app. I bring up the good old trusty Strike app. I haven't been in trouble with Strike for like at least 2 or 3 months. That means I'm not stacking hard enough. I need to stack harder. I'm buying $40 worth of Bitcoin. 40. There it is. $40 worth of Bitcoin today on the Stack Bitcoin show. Here we go. I'm hitting next. Cut the music. Hit that drum roll, please. Hitting confirm. $40 worth of Bitcoin today on the Stack Bitcoin show. Is it going? It's going. There it is. And just like that, we've accumulated an additional 47,025 Satoshis for the stack. Just like that. It's wild. It's wild. Go to the browser and update the browser with today's purchase. I know. The show is repetitive. I know. Saving in Bitcoin is boring. You just go out here and buy Bitcoin. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Today, the price of Bitcoin we deserve is $84,253.06. We bought $40 worth. And that gave us 0.00047025 Bitcoin, 47,025 Satoshis. I'll buy that kidney with BTC. Let's go. We just watched the movie called we just watched the movie called The Repo Man. It's an old movie. We've been hitting the classics. We watched a movie called Repo Man with my wife. She hadn't seen it before, but that comment reminded me of it. It's like basically synthetic like devices that people buy like as like a heart transplant. It's like a heart is like a mechanical device, or like a kidney or like a liver. It's like a mechanical liver. And like they put people in these devices, like they sell them to people that are like terminally ill, and they basically put them on there with like a vicious variable rate loan. So once they get it in there, their interest rate goes up or whatever, or like I don't know how exactly it works, but like the people that can't make their payments on their organs, on their synthetic organs, they go and they get like hunted down by these repo men, and basically just reclaim the property of the company, right? It's so sad. It's messed up. Anyway, but when you said I'll buy that kidney with Bitcoin, so wild. So wild. All right, here we go. Boom. There it is. The stack for today. And our total for 2025 is $2,660 saved into Bitcoin. 2.9 million Satoshis, almost 3 million Satoshis. Getting there. And now let's add that to the full stack over here. A lot of red on this chart right now, but not that much. Not enough to scare me. Oops. All right. Our average buy price for the show is $51,664.43. And we are currently up about 61%. And we are now holding 0.35352481 Bitcoin. Slow and steady. Stacking those Bitcoins, stacking those sats. And on our way to one whole Bitcoin. That is the goal for the show, is to get to one whole Bitcoin. Who knows if we'll get there? But I know that the show is growing slow and steady. And when I say slow and steady, I mean slow. I mean slow and maybe not so steady. Today, we are at 360 subscribers once again. We've been fluctuating up and down, but we're at 360 subscribers. Do me a favor, if you enjoy the show, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to be part of the show and have questions for me, you can put your questions in the chat. All you have to do is subscribe for about a minute. That's it, one whole minute. And then if you're watching the replay, if you have any questions about Bitcoin, how the money works, how Bitcoin solves the inflation problem that everybody has, how to buy Bitcoin, how to safely custody your Bitcoin, do leave a comment, and I will answer your comment on the following episode. Or if you ask live, I might even answer your question during the live stream. Okay. All right. On a Friday, that's all I got for you guys. Okay. I got the whole weekend off. I'm going to go and what's my next order of business right now for me is I'm going to get ready for jiu-jitsu. And after jiu-jitsu, I don't know. I'm going to go look in my garage for more things to sell in exchange for Bitcoin. It's going to be awesome. I have some recycling cans I can take to the recycler. That's another 20-30 bucks right there of Satoshis. It's so sad. It's so sad. But that is that is what I do for fun. What do you do for fun? Oh, I stack Bitcoin. Anyway, let's crank out the music. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll be back here on Monday. Back at it, stacking Bitcoin. If we have a crazy dip over the weekend, hopefully you guys are prepared for another buy. Don't be discouraged, guys. Continue your DCA plan, right? That's why it's your DCA plan. Continue with the amount you're buying, at the frequency you're buying. You're doing the right thing. And this is going to be the only way to beat these tariffs and the inflation that's coming. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Stack Bitcoin show. I'll see you guys tomorrow for see you guys on Monday for another episode. But until then, over the weekend, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking.